Okay, Birdie, we've gone north. We've gone so far north that we're quite literally at the Canadian border. I've never been to Canada. Well, I guess I have now. The moment we got to the sign, I stopped the car, and Harry and I both jumped out and ran for the other side of the border. One of those moments where we both had the exact same idea at the exact same time. I miss that. The way that we can be in perfect sync. Sometimes on a job we could communicate with just a look. The whole crew had that ability to some extent, but it always felt, better with Harry. Things have been better with Harry. I demanded she tell me anything else she left out about Pete and her snitching, and I think I know everything now. Even if I have no idea what to do with it, but it's cleared the air some. Made me understand her a little more. Even if I'm still furious so much of the time, that fury is not aimed solely at her anymore. It's her birthday today, June 30th. She didn't mention anything to me. It's not like we've got a wall calendar hanging off the rearview mirror or anything, so it was only when I was doing my usual marking of my atlas that I realized. I didn't get her a gift, obviously. A trip to Canada, I guess. When I wished her a happy birthday, she just sort of quietly said thank you, and that was that. We are both a year older and not any wiser for it. We know more now about the world, about each other. It doesn't feel like... I'm not sure what other secrets we possibly would have to reveal to each other, and yet I don't feel like I actually understand anything. Still just out to sea. I don't know. I miss Donnie. I wish I could talk to him about this stuff. I wish I could talk to him about Pete. I wish I could have someone else's perspective on her, on us. And the real problem is that despite everything, the look on her face when she got to the other side of the border. We were both out of breath and red-faced like kids who had raced to the front door, and she smiled so big, and she looked at me and said, "Didn't I tell you once that I'd take you to another country someday?" I honestly couldn't believe that she remembered that. She said it one time, years ago. I remembered it, of course, because at that time I was looking for any kind of scrap that she... We were at a new exhibit at the Morgan Library, rare manuscripts. I think from the Renaissance, I can't really remember. Pete loved stealing manuscripts. They were hard to steal because they had to be so delicately handled, but Harry knew how to do it, which gave Pete an advantage that most thieves didn't have. With big exhibits of them, we would steal just one, not a whole collection, and still get a really good deal for them. Especially since there is always a wealthy person out there who wants to own one just for the sake of having something rare and won't fuss too much about where it came from. Anyway, we were casing the place, her and I, because Harry could spend hours looking at every corner of an exhibit and make it seem totally natural, like she was just looking at the art. She usually went alone, just to get the layout of the exhibits, but we'd never tried robbing the Morgan Library before, so I went with her to get a sense for the whole building's security, and we had a good time. We had a really good time. We laughed at all the weird margin drawings that the monks would leave in the books of hours or whatever they were, and Harry would tell me about the history of when and where these things had been written, and if she'd been to the place herself, she'd talk a little bit about what it was like now. I've never been anywhere, and when I told her that, she said, "I'll take you someday. Everyone should leave the country at least once." Actually, I think she said continent. That's obviously not possible now. Well, I guess we could go to South America, but I'm just happy she remembers the conversation at all. I thought about it for weeks afterwards. What she meant by it, the implication that she would be with me if I traveled, that she'd be the one to take me. You know, I could get a rare manuscript for her next birthday. I could walk into any museum in this country and walk right out with one, just like I did with that painting in Santa Fe. Her next birthday. Guess I am thinking that we'll still be alive and that we'll still be together a year from now, but I really don't know that for certain, do I? Anyway, should we keep going north, or do you want to give us a little direction here? Literal direction in this case?